Welcome to Marine Mondays. My name is Kyle Troy. I am the director and biologist here at the Marine Education Center in Mamaroneck, New York. We are now open again from 9 to 4 o'clock. If you guys want to come down, I'll be starting the programs again next week. So today we're going to be talking about something really cool, one of my favorite subjects. Can anyone out there tell me what plankton is? And for those of you guys who haven't seen the show before, the comments come in a little slow, but still write them in, and I will answer as we go, but answer at home with your friends or family. So who out there can tell me what plankton is? Let's see if anyone knows. So plankton are very, very, very cool creatures that live in the sea. They also can live in freshwater, but here we talk about the Long Island Sound. So these are all subjects based on the Long Island Sound. So plankton here in the Long Island Sound, there's two types of plankton. So there's zooplankton and there's phytoplankton. And a little bit later we're going to be talking about something really cool that they do, but I want to go through what plankton is first and how I get the plankton. And you're going to see some of the plankton that I put in the microscope. So at home, plankton are drifters. So plankton are tiny animals and plants that don't really move on their own. And who out there can tell me, let's see if anyone knows a type of plankton. So a lot of the plankton are tiny, tiny, tiny. So you need one of these microscopes that I'll show you at home. You'll need one of them to see a lot of the plankton. But there are some bigger plankton that don't really swim on their own. So plankton is a cool word. It means drifter, so they drift with the currents. So one of the big plankton out there are jellyfish, which a lot of people don't realize those are plankton. And again, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. What eats jellyfish? Let's see if anyone remembers. So some of our turtles, right, that we talked about, that come into the Long Island Sound. A lot of things eat jellyfish, but turtles are a big one that people realize. Whales eat plankton. So I'm going to bring you guys over to my board here, flip you around really quick. So we've been talking about a lot of things, and you guys saw this a couple weeks ago. This is our food chain. So remember we talked about this guy, right? Our big shark. Our apex predator. So this is our food chain. So sharks like to eat seals, right? Seals eat fish. And a lot of these animals in the sea eat these guys, which are our plankton. Tiny, tiny, most of them. So a lot of other things start out as plankton. So when they're born, they're hatched, they start out as plankton. They don't move on their own. Does anyone out there remember one of the animals we've talked about that starts out as a plankton and then will start moving on its own? Let's see if anybody knows. And you could write in your comments as we go or answer at home with your friends or family. So a big one is a crab. A crab starts out as a plankton and then slowly grows into one of the crabs that we've talked about, our spider crab, or what our Asian shore crab, or green crab. So these are the big words here, but an easy way to remember the two types of plankton is this word, zooplankton, but it looks like zoo. So what do you think that is? What type of plankton is zooplankton? What type of plankton is zooplankton? Let's see if anybody out there knows. So zooplankton is animals. So an easy way to remember is the zoo part. So animals live in a zoo, so our zooplankton are our animals. And phytoplankton, little harder, but phyto means plants. So our little algae or plants out there. So that's a big one. So this is a really big, and I went out earlier, and I'm going to show you what I used, but this is a really big plankton out there. So this right here is attached to my handy dandy microscope, and I went out and got this guy, made a slide, and I'll show you all this. So this is a type of zooplankton. This is our copepod. Copepod, it's a big one. So you can see, if you look down at the slide here, you can't see anything because these things are tiny, tiny in the water. So these are swimming around all the time. There's thousands and thousands out there all the time, swimming around. So I go out with this to get my plankton. This is a plankton net. So I catch the water in there on my plankton, and I make one of these, which is, if you look here, and that copepod was just in a tiny glass drop of water. So this is a glass slide. So when you see a microscope like this, you're going to be only putting these glass slides under there. We don't put shells under this type of microscope. We use these glass slides, take a little drop of water with this, and we make this. So this is our copepod, but I want to talk about something really cool that our plankton do. Does anyone out there know what this is? Let's see. Does anyone out there know what this is? So this happens very rarely in the Long Island Sound. But this happens all around the world. Something very cool that plankton do. And it's mostly one certain type of plankton called a dinoflagellate. Big word. You don't have to remember that. So they produce something called bioluminescence. Who's heard of that out there? So they produce the bioluminescence, which glows the water, mostly blue-green. And why do you think some creatures produce this bioluminescence? Very cool to see. It's usually grouped like this, along the coast, in inlets, where the waves hit the sand. So they produce bioluminescence for a lot of reasons, but a big one is to defend themselves against predators. It's kind of a distraction. So our plankton, sometimes in the Long Island Sound, produce this really cool bioluminescence. Can anyone out there tell me another animal that produces a type of bioluminescence? Let's see if anyone out there, either in the water or maybe on land. Think about on land. So when we think of bioluminescence, a lot of us that know what this cool thing is, this bioluminescence, it's glowing, we think of the water, the marine environment. But there's some cool animals on land that produce the bioluminescence that you might not think about. I want to see if anybody at home can tell me. The comments do come in slow, so I apologize if you're commenting and I'm not getting them, but you can answer at home. So this animal, let's see. Well, that's our dinoflagellate there. Yes, nice. Martine, anglerfish, one of the coolest fish, I think, deep sea fish. This guy on land, anybody know what that is? Sometimes we don't think of our land animals having bioluminescence. But this is our firefly. And fireflies have really bright bioluminescence. And they use this to attract another firefly, to communicate. Which is cool. If you watch them, they flash in different ways. Very important for the firefly. So I'm going to go back over here. So again, my favorite subject, plankton. Doesn't seem that cool, but if you guys come down here, you guys can see a lot of these animals under the microscope. Animals or plants are zooplankton, animals, phytoplankton, plants. And you could do a plankton program with me. But there's also other creatures out there that you might see that have a type of bioluminescence. Our jellyfish, some of our jellyfish do. again, our fireflies. There's those deep sea anglerfish. There's some types of squid that have this really cool bioluminescence. But a lot of our marine animals here are the plankton, those dinoflagellates. So, again, who out there, you could say it at home, tell me one more time what that bioluminescence does. One thing you might think it does. So it helps, right, communicate. It could help defend against a predator, help find prey, help attract another animal with that bioluminescence. And yeah, communicate, a big one. So if we go from our food chain, which we've talked about, so everything we talk about here on the show connects to each other, mostly by this food chain here. So as you can see, our plankton are the bottom of that food chain, but one of the most important parts. A lot of these animals eat the plankton. And for those of you guys out there, so we talked about last week, we talked about some of the bad pollution that's in our water, right? And I want to thank everyone that came out last Friday for the cleanup. We did have a large amount of you guys come out for the cleanup, so thank you. So plankton, especially our phytoplankton, when there's that pollution that comes down in the storm drains like I was talking about, this is a big one that grows too quickly and causes that nutrient overload in the water. So this is a big one. So things even tiny that you can't see are affected by pollution. And one of the coolest, I think, is our phytoplankton. And there's a lot of plankton. The zooplankton and phytoplankton are super cool. And for some of our older viewers, I want to show you this book. This is a very cool if you get into plankton like I do. So out there, one more time, who can tell me what zooplankton is? Who can tell me what zooplankton is without looking at the board? Let's see. So zooplankton, again, is tiny animals. And one of those animals that start off as zooplankton are our crab, right? And then our phytoplankton, which are the plants that you see. So I want to thank everyone for joining me, and next week I believe we're going to do a little seining, which is going to be a lot of fun. See a lot of the animals. It is getting colder out, so we're going to get different kinds of animals than we did last time we did the seining, which was a month and a half ago or so. So thank you guys for joining me again. I'm Kyle Troy with the Marine Education Center in Mamaroneck, New York. Come down to Harbor Island Park. We are open 9 to 4. And I will see you guys next week. All right, happy Monday.